This would have been, I think, my brother Barry's 77th birthday today. As you all know, we were born on March 12th, and he was born on March 19th. And I was born on the feast at that time of St. Gregory the Great. His feast day was moved from March to September. I don't know why. The church does all kinds of things. Took away my saint from me for my birthday. But my brother used to say to me, faithful every year, my birthday is more important than yours because my birthday is on St. Joseph's Day and yours is only on St. Gregory the Great, whoever he was. But mine is the foster father of Jesus. My birthday is more important than yours. I have to tell him to S-U. That's short for shut up. But he did it every year. He was faithful. I mention it because there's a lot of things in life that just come along that I think are kind of mystical, kind of mysterious, and some of those I call serendipitous. I had a serendipitous moment this Sunday. I'm sitting up the chair, and I happen to glance over to this section, and I see a woman who I see usually there, who introduced me to her grandson about a year ago, who happened to be in real estate, and I was asking him some questions about real estate. And so when I glanced over here and saw her, I thought of him and the issue of real estate, and then, out of the blue, someone in the parish who deals with real estate, who hasn't texted me for 3 years, all of a sudden texted me that day to mention some issues about real estate. And I thought, oh my God, now where did that come from? And how is it that two of these people connected? There's no explanation, and I don't think personally that God puts these things in our ways. I think life is just filled with the mysterious. It's filled with mystical experience. I've told you many times, but I'll say it again, it's a favorite of mine. Of course, you know, I'm from German-Austrian background, and of course I think the Germans are amazing, in spite of their awful period there with that bad boy during the Second World War. But there's a mystic, a Dominican mystic, back in the year about 1260, I think, who wrote a lot of mystical literature, and it's just beautiful stuff. The mystics, they talk on a different level, intuitive level, and a level of, well, mystery. And anyway, he said this quote, "If the only thing you ever say to God is, thank you, that's enough." And if you stop and think about it, can you imagine living each day in a spirit of gratitude for all the things that we have, all the blessings that are ours, for the blessing of this moment, for the fact that we're breathing and we're alive? To live with gratitude, I think, is probably one of the most precious and wonderful things that we can do. I think it's more important than praising God. I think it is praise of God at the highest level, to be just grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Well, Joseph was such a man. Very little is said of him in the Bible. Very little. That he was a just man. It mentions that he was a carpenter. There's very little, very few words, really, if any, that are spoken out loud by him in the Bible. And yet, he is revered. He's the universal patron of the church. The universal patron of the church. Because he is so respected as the foster father of Jesus. We recognize that he is the son of the grandson of Abraham. So his lineage that brings him to marry Mary and then to foster this foster child of his, this is enormously important because it's the lineage of Abraham and David all the way down to Jesus. That's the fulfillment of the messianic line. But in addition to that, he was a man who was open to God reaching into his heart and soul because he was so aware and sensitive. And we hear in him what we hear of several people, Mary also, these angelic visitations. In his case, they were through dreams. And this was a constant theme in the Bible, people who dreamt, who had an angelic dream. And the beautiful thing, the mystical thing, the mysterious and wonderful, maybe serendipitous thing is that Joseph listened. He was open. He had a dream. And I guess he went to bed probably troubled. How is The woman I'm betrothed to, I'm not yet married to her. How is she pregnant? I didn't do anything. What on earth is going on? He must have gone to bed very troubled that night. And yet he had a dream in the midst of his troubled spirit that told him that this child was conceived by God, by God's Spirit. And he was open to it. And he woke up in peace. And then he went about his day. Is it that simple? Perhaps. Perhaps we allow ourselves to be so troubled by things in life instead of trusting and being faith-filled. And I wonder if we go to bed sometimes troubled, if it wouldn't be a good thing to say, Lord, send me an angel in my dreams. Send me an angel in my dreams. Speak to my heart. Show me where I'm supposed to go. Show me how I can be a man or a woman of peace. Joseph is a wonderful example to us. He was righteous. He was just. But maybe most important of all, he was just open. And he allowed God to be real in the experience of his life, even in his dreams. And he was open to God speaking to him always. Please stand.